that was down. Nifty Pharma also a bit jittery in trade and down 0.4%. FIIs were buyers in yesterday's trading session as well. DIIs continue to be buyers as well. But do not forget, in the FIIs number that you're seeing, we're seeing that Nifty rejig. So that is something that is, surely adding to that buy number that's coming in for FIIs. So that is that adjustment that we should keep an eye out on. What are we keeping an eye out on for today's trading session? We do have the US CPI data for February that will be coming out later this evening. So keep an eye on that. Any more updates coming in from Trump on tariff measures? What is that update there? Keep an eye out on that. GDP growth data that came in versus the estimate, it was in line. 2.4% was the GDP growth that came in. Estimate was 2.3%, so keep an eye out on that. But quarter-on-quarter basis, a bit of a slowdown that we're seeing. And lastly, FII flows, are they going to be continuing in India? That's an important factor to watch out for. For the month of March, FIIs were net buyers, so that is something interesting there. But let's move on that front and get you important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. We have Sudarshan here. Good morning, Sudarshan.
Good morning, Vinny. So we'll start with BSE because SEBI has released consultation paper proposing, basically it has proposed that expiry days to be limited either on Tuesday or Thursdays, and after that NSE has deferred its plan to change the weekly expiry day to Monday from Thursday. Also, M&M and Force Motors, both the companies have bagged defense order of rupees 2,500 crore, of which for Force Motors order is for 2,978 vehicles and total order is of 5,000 light vehicles. BEL, that is Bharat Electronics, announces order of 1,385 crore, and with this FY25 order inflows for BEL has crossed 18,000 crore. Samvardhana Motherson says US auto tariff will not have material impact on the financials as most products supplied by the company in US are either manufactured in US or it's compliant with the Mexico agreement that US has. Asian Paints has increased project cost for VAE and VM unit in Dahej by more than rupees 600 crore. JSPL is declared successful bidder for Sharadpur Jalatap East Coal Block, and also it has signed agreement for the same block. DSM Shriram to invest rupees 131 crore for setting up integrated compressed biogas plant in UP. CESC has signed power purchase agreement with the UP power regulator, and Geo Finance has announced that it will be investing 85 crore in Geo Payments Bank, and with this their stake will increase to more than 85%. Bharat Forge, its arm Kalyani Strategic Systems, has formed JV with Spain's Duma Engineering. And last one is Geo Financial, Zomato, BPCL and Britannia. Geo Finance Zomato will enter Nifty 50 and Britannia and BPCL will exit Nifty 50.
Thank you so much for that, Sudarshan. Important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session there. But Mangalam is here to tell us what are we expecting in the world of F&O this morning. Also, the beginning of a new series, right, Mangalam? So what should we keep an eye out on?
It's the beginning of a new series. So what we say hello April. Why do we say that? Because over the last 10 Aprils that I've seen in April series, the Nifty has ended lower just twice. So that's a positive. If you look at April 2022 and April 2015 was where the Nifty saw a red close. Otherwise, it's been either a big green close or maybe a mild green close itself. The other part is that, the Nifty in the March series has gained about 1,047 points, broken the 5 series losing streak, and that's a big positive. Add to that, the rollovers have been slightly on the lighter side. So we're starting April series with a lot of light weight. The April series actually is starting with just 76% rollovers and 1.25 crore shares at the open interest in terms of the start of the series itself. And that compares with an average of close to around 1.5 crore shares as well. And the FII long exposure at the start of the series is 40%. Remember, over the last 4 or 5 series, the FIIs have been starting on, a very somber note when it comes to long exposure, 16, 18, 11 odd percent itself. And now at 40% long exposure, the FII long exposure is the highest that we've seen all the way since October itself. On the other hand, the clients, which is the HNIs, etc., they've reduced their long exposure. So they are starting this series with 51% long exposure itself, which is on the lower side. What can be the big movers or triggers for the April series itself? The start of the April series brings you, the Trump tariff-related news. Then you have the RBI monetary policy outcome. And thereafter, you will also have the Q4 FY25 results and previews. That will be an important one to watch. And then you have global and geopolitical developments, which will keep the market afloat. The key question to ask, will the rally sustain or will there be consolidation after a 1,000-point up move in March?
Thanks so much for that, Mangalam. Surely saying hello to April. But